Israel is changing the skyline of the Gaza Strip.
Gaza looks like a wasteland due to non-stop bombardment from Israel, while Hamas leaders issue calls to Muslims to heed their plea and target Israelis worldwide, leading to isolated terrorist attacks globally. The situation couldn't get worse. The growing fight between Israel and Hamas has gotten worse, turning the area into a hot spot of army clashes. This video will outline the fighting methods used by both groups from the start of this problem, which began with a surprise attack by Hamas on October 7, 2023, leading to more army clashes. The terrible acts done on this day were quickly blamed on Hamas, leading to a series of revenge moves by Israel. Israel's reaction was quick and strong. From October 7th to 14th, Israeli forces made non-stop air attacks on Hamas's important army places in Gaza. This week of non-ending air hits was meant to weaken Hamas's ability to operate and stop future attacks. Hamas, for its part, kept getting help from people who agree with them, calling for attacks on Israeli places all over the world. The fight spread beyond the country's limits, causing worry worldwide, with separate terror events happening in different places. As the Israeli planes flew over Gaza, the destruction on the ground was clear to see. Over 2,700 people were said to have died among the remains of what were once busy areas. The human crisis that was happening couldn't be denied and drew the attention and worry of the whole world. The changing way of war is very clear in the current fight between Israel and Hamas. Hamas has greatly increased its attack abilities. One main way they've done this is by firing many rockets simultaneously. The group, with the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, has a big collection of weapons they've used to fire rockets at speed and distance never seen before. In a powerful show of force, over 4,300 rockets were fired in just 11 days. This means an average of about 390 launches every day, a big jump from past fights. To give you an idea, that's a huge number. Since each rocket can cause a lot of damage and there were so many, they hope to beat Israel's famous Iron Dome defense system. The rockets can go very far, some able to travel hundreds of kilometers, showing the advanced skills that Hamas and PIJ have acquired. Also, Hamas has started using new methods beyond the usual ones. They are using unmanned flying machines, sometimes set to drop bombs or even to act as flying bombs, which is a big change. They've also used small unmanned submarines in a new tactic in their type of fighting. These submarines are meant to carry bombs to attack ships and sea gas platforms, but these methods haven't worked well, as Israeli defenses have mostly stopped these dangers. However, just using such advanced methods says a lot about how their army plans are changing. Attempts to sneak into Israel show another side of the fight. Special forces from Hamas have often tried to get into Israel using a big system of tunnels that cross the border. These tunnels, often many meters deep and going for kilometers, are amazing works of building on their own. But Israeli secret information, along with exact airstrikes, have stopped these sneaking attempts. The cleverness and size of these tunnels, sometimes having things for comfort and going for miles under the ground, show how far Hamas is ready to go. The fight has also had Hamas use teams with anti-tank missiles. These teams have had some wins, like shooting at Israeli people and soldiers near the Gaza border. These missiles, able to go through thick armor, have hurt people, including causing the death of an Israeli soldier. The distance these missiles can go and their power to go through more than a foot of solid steel are important to note. Additionally, there's been a clear growth in how tricky Hamas's attacks are, shown by advanced attacks across land, air and sea. These attacks have shown a kind of teamwork never seen before. The planning and working together needed for such attacks are huge, often needing months of getting ready and the skill to talk well across different fighting areas. On the other side, Israel has used methods that show their better technology and smart planning. Bombing from the air has been a main reaction, with the Israel Air Force making revenge air attacks aimed at Hamas's control places, army spots, and other important buildings. These air attacks have been a lot, with hundreds of flights flown, aiming at over 1,000 separate places. The exactness of these attacks is amazing, with smart bombs that can be steered to hit with correctness of within a meter. Getting ready for attacks on the ground has also been seen. Israel got its ground forces, including tanks and soldiers, ready for a possible attack into Gaza. But the gathering of these forces had two reasons. While they were prepared for a possible land attack, their gathering was also used as a trick. This plan was to get Hamas forces to come out or move them around, making them open to air attacks and gunfire. The moving and placing of these soldiers, sometimes involving thousands of soldiers, shows the size at which these actions can happen. The Iron Dome defense system is the main part of Israel's defense. This system, an amazing piece of current army technology, has been very important in stopping the rocket attacks coming from Gaza. The system stops 90% of rockets going toward where people live, a big win given the number of rockets shot. Up to now, the Iron Dome has stopped thousands of coming threats, using radar systems so they can find and aim at things the size of a small ball, going at over 3 times the speed of sound. Learning from past fights has been very important for Israel. The Israeli Defense Forces have learnt from past wars, changing their methods and plans to get ready for a stronger enemy in Hamas, which has collected a lot of weapons and built a big tunnel system. The IDF's changes in strategy are based on many years of conflict, studying information from fights that sometimes had tens of thousands of soldiers and many different battle situations. Security within Israel has also gotten stronger. To answer Hamas's call for rebellions among Arab Israelis and West Bank Palestinians, Israel started big police and internal security actions. These actions, very important to keeping peace inside, have involved thousands of security people and sending more Israel Defense Forces groups to places that are sensitive. The current fight between Israel and Hamas shows how war keeps changing. Both sides have shown many fighting methods using air, land, and for Hamas, sea strategies. Israel keeps using its tech advantage, especially with the Iron Dome, while Hamas works to make its attack wider and more advanced. The ongoing change of these methods highlights the detailed and always changing setting of this long-lasting fight, suggesting a future where being able to adapt and surprise may be key to winning. Even with the growing number of deaths and destruction, Israel stayed strong in its goal to weaken Hamas's army power. The main plan was to take away the danger from Hamas, as shown by the October 7th attacks that took 1,400 lives. Israel's main method was heavy air attacks, focused on destroying Hamas's military buildings. At the same time, Hamas used surprise attack methods and random rocket attacks into Israeli areas, hoping to create fear and mess up normal life. In the world of diplomacy, there were efforts to calm down the crisis. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken went to the area talking with Israeli leaders to find ways to cool off the tension. The big goal was to create a safe path to help the struggling people in Gaza. However, the mix of political and military problems was far from over. Worries were growing because the fight showed no sign of stopping, with both Israel and Hamas not giving up. An important event was the EU's plan to send help to Gaza through Egypt, hoping to ease the pain of people stuck in the middle of the fighting. But the military fight went on, with Israel aiming at Hamas's military strength, while Hamas looked for any chance to cause harm and get more people to support its side. As the battle continues, the methods used by Israel and Hamas show a mix of military, political, and mind games. The world is watching closely as efforts for peace happen simultaneously as military moves, trying to bring some kind of peace to the area. This tough war scene between Israel and Hamas clearly shows today's warfare's complicated and unpredictable nature, where fight methods mix with world politics and the need to help people. Is a road to peace coming, or will there be more trouble ahead? Don't miss any news. Click like and subscribe for more.